Air freight operations are critical to ensuring the safe and seamless movement of cargoes, particularly agricultural products, which contribute significantly to the nation's economic diversification. From the National Air Freight Stakeholder Summit in Port Harcourt to the maritime world, today's program promises some important insights. We'll highlight key moments from the summit and also bring you the latest reports from the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, showcasing the significant strides being made in Nigeria's maritime sector. Later, we'll turn to Victoria Yavala for her debut in the Titbit segment, bringing you the latest stories from both local and international news. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Welcome back to The Shipper, proudly brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council, the nation's port economic regulator. I am Abike Ido. Air freight operations remain a pivotal element in Nigeria's push to diversify its economy. The growing demand for agricultural exports, particularly to Europe and the Middle East, underscores the significant importance of this sector. In line with this vision, industry stakeholders gathered in Port Harcourt for the National Air Freight Summit, addressing key issues such as infrastructure, regulatory bottlenecks, and cost challenges. Vivian Adigwe compiled this report, now presented from our studios.
It's common knowledge that Nigeria earns more foreign exchange from the sale of crude oil. This is a development the various leaders have made efforts to change by exploring and developing other sectors of the economy. Agriculture is one of the viable sectors with huge potential for growth. This Air Freight Summit was imperative following the increase in demand for agricultural produce from Europe and the Middle East, which makes the air freight business a thriving one. What stakeholders at the summit sought to achieve was to examine ways to build infrastructure and facilitate imports and exports.
Infrastructure is a key element in any process all over the world. Absence of infrastructure cannot drive any export or import processes. So infrastructure is key. So here we are to look at what are those gaps at the airport, what are the machines required to facilitate exporting cargo by air freighting. Then when we identify it, we look at the regulatory processes. What are the regulatory processes? And standardize those processes to the barest minimum to reduce the time it takes to process your export cargo. Then finally, we are looking at technology integration. It is very key to integrate all the technologies required by the various agencies so that everybody can be allowed into the same technology to do their own clearance processes. At the click of a button, all the processes will be streamlined and the exporter can move on to do the export and it will be competitive.
Air freight industry is crucial to the growth of the economy, but it's been constrained over time by infrastructural challenges, regulatory hurdles, and high costs. Although the business is properly regulated, bureaucracy in inspection by customs and other agencies of government lead to delay in cargo clearance.
Having a single window where everybody come to play their own role so that nobody's legislation or processes are overlooked, your empowerment. I think that's what one of the major challenges in Nigeria, every organization trying to drive their own regulation. But if all these things can be integrated by technology, it will reduce the time an exporter will have to go from your own desk to another office, maybe going after one certification or the other. Everybody meets in a particular technology integration and solution is granted and the process goes on. An export is made easy, which is the idea of the federal government to make cost of business easy. So we can't talk of lessening the cost of businesses without integrating technology of the various agencies involved by their regulation to play a part in export business.
Stakeholders at this forum believe that simplifying these processes would improve speed and reliability of air freight operations. The ongoing improvement in infrastructure at the airports, customs processes, and technology are essential to enhance the sector's performance. Governor Siminalayi Fubara's representative, Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Barrister John Otamiri, set the tone for discussion at the summit. He commended Nigerian Shippers Council for organizing the summit and pledged the state government's support to build the air freight industry.
In all the areas, you will seek our support. He has directed that I should tell you, you are in safe hands. That whatever area you think the governor will come, in any angle you think the state government will come in, call his attention and the Rivers State government will partner with you.
Executive Secretary, Nigerian Shippers Council, Barrister Pius Akuta, who spoke through a representative, emphasized the summit's objective, which is to promote economic diversification through air freight.
Air freighting holds tremendous opportunity in the diversification of nation's economy, being one of the simplest and easiest gateway to accessing international market with less cumbersome processes and procedure. Its significance and benefits need not be overemphasized. Today's summit provides us as a nation and stakeholders the opportunity to look inward and challenge our thoughts.
Adhering to safety and regulatory services and the need for functional agricultural exports were also emphasized by Chairman Agro Exporters Group, Mr. John Opaku.
There are too many fees, multiplication of agencies. You keep paying. At the end of it, when you get to the market, let's say London, others are selling their product for $2. Your cost of bringing there is $5. How are you going to sell? So these are part of Shippers Council's problem, to streamline the process. There are too many fees, too many agencies, multiplication of agencies. It's a problem.
General Manager, Nigerian Postal Service, Shonde Dotun, reiterated the importance of the air freight, describing it as an essential component of global trade.
It's not just by road, it's not by sea. There are certain benefits, certain potential we can annex also by air, by transporting goods and services. Well, here we're looking at air freighting. Air freighting plays a vital role in modern commerce. It's just a solution that it provides for whatever commercial activities or business or trade that you are into. The global market size exceeds 175 billion. And locally, I can make bold to tell you that it can account for over 30% of the budget of this state if it's properly annexed. And the first question we should ask is, are there opportunities, are there potential? The answer is yes. Are there benefits? The answer is yes. So all we need to do is to annex it.
The Nigerian Shippers Council was commended for its role in ensuring smooth operations. The commendation was from the president of Rivers Bayelsa Shippers Association, Engineer Ofon Udofia, who also called for collective efforts towards enhancing non-oil exports in the region.
We also thank Shippers Council that has come in as a regulator to make sure that things will be going seamlessly. And more importantly, NIPOS has clicked a relationship between Ribasa and our institute to make sure that the problem of logistics will be reduced. So I believe that with whatever I've done today, if properly implemented, that we move from where we are to a higher place that will encourage and diversify non-oil export in this zone.
After hours of fruitful deliberation, a communique was released.
Participants unanimously resolved that there is a need for the government to prioritize investment in the modernization and expansion of Port Harcourt International Airport and associated cargo facilities to accommodate high-volume air freighting operations.
The theme of the summit was diversification of Nigeria's economy by harnessing the potential in air freighting. Rivers State in focus.
That was an insightful look into the National Air Freight Stakeholder Summit and its importance to Nigeria's economic growth. Up next, we'll delve into another significant aspect of the maritime sector, focusing on developments from the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Nigeria is intensifying its efforts to reclaim its Category C seat on the International Maritime Organization Council. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, inaugurated an inter-ministerial committee in Abuja to spearhead the campaign, emphasizing the need to highlight Nigeria's maritime achievements and adherence to key IMO conventions. Speaking at the 2024 World Maritime Day event in Barcelona, the minister engaged global counterparts, reiterating Nigeria's commitment to conventions like SOLAS and MAPO and initiatives like the Deep Blue Sea project to secure the Gulf of Guinea waters. Oyetola stressed that Nigeria's dedication to sustainability and maritime safety positions it as a strong contender for the IMO Council, pledging collaboration with member states for a secure maritime future.
In line with the President's approval, I hereby inaugurate this interministerial committee for Nigeria's election campaign to the IMO Executive Council. The interministerial committee comprises high-level officials led by the permanent secretaries, the responsibility of which, among others, include identify activities and actions that will promote Nigeria's good standing in the IMO community through articulating and showcasing Nigeria's maritime achievements.
While the push for Nigeria's IMO Council seat underscores the nation's commitment to maritime governance, the federal government is also steering efforts to transform the aquaculture and fishery sector into a global powerhouse. Speaking at a workshop in Abuja, the minister, Adegboyega Oyetola, emphasized science-based measures, sustainable practices, and addressing illegal fishing to protect marine resources. The policy also aims to boost productivity, profitability, and market access for farmers while fostering technology-driven investments. Stakeholders from across the sector collaborated to finalize the policy, which highlights Nigeria's commitment to sustainable aquatic ecosystem for future generations.
And all stakeholders present today, government agencies, private sector actors, civil society organizations, and local communities to join hands in the implementation of the national fishery and aquaculture policy. Together we can unlock the immense potential of aquatic resources and ensure a sustainable future for generations to come.
From sustainable aquaculture to strengthening maritime governance, Nigeria continues to make strides on multiple fronts. The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, has officially deposited 3 instruments of accession to key IMO conventions. Presented to IMO Secretary General Arsenio Dominguez in London, These documents, signed by President Bola Tinubu, reinforced Nigeria's commitment to maritime safety, security and sustainability. Oyetola called for tailored technical cooperation to enhance compliance, while the IMO Secretary General applauded Nigeria's efforts, pledging support for the successful implementation of these conventions. This milestone aligns Nigeria's maritime practices with international standards, bolstering its global maritime standing. From government initiatives to industry partnerships, the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is setting the tone for a robust maritime sector. Now, it's time for latest headlines across the globe. Over to Victoria Yavala, who's joining us today for her first appearance on the Titsbit segment. Take it away, Victoria.
Thank you, Abike. I am Victoria Vala, and I'm excited to join you on The Shipper as we bring you all the key updates from the world of maritime and beyond. Let's drive straight into today's stories. In a recent meeting at the Nigerian Shippers Council headquarters in Lagos, the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Council, Barrister Pius Akuta MON, and the Federal Road Safety Commission Lagos Commander, Kainde Hamzat, have called for a stronger collaboration to improve road safety across Nigeria. Akuta emphasized the importance of working together, particularly in tackling traffic issues around Apapa. He urged for better enforcement of driving time limits and development of vehicle transit area to reduce road accidents nationwide.
We need you enormously to work with us here in Apapa to ensure that Apapa is safe, the Apapa roads are safe for movements of goods. This is where it most starts, or it ends here. Cargo leaving the seaports to the hinterlands takes off from here. And those ones leaving the hinterlands for export also end up here.
The FRSC announced an upcoming Ember Month program to raise road safety awareness while showcasing a new app for real-time accident reporting.
If you're in a vehicle, either as a driver or as a commuter, it can point to you where you have black spots. Black spots are areas prone to crashes. So as you drive, when you are approaching any of the black spots, either pothole or very sharp bends, you will discover that it will be beeping, telling you that you are getting close to a black spot, so you should drive with care.
In another development, the council celebrated Chief Kajetan Agu's 60th birthday, marking his retirement after 33 years of service. Chief Agu, who joined the council in 1991, rose to the position of director through dedication and commitment. At the celebration, Executive Secretary and CEO of the council, Barrister Pius Akuta, who was represented by the Director Regulatory Department, Mrs. Margaret Ogbonna, praised Chief Agu's vast knowledge and contributions to the council's success.
He's a depository of knowledge, of activities and functions of Shippers Council. Anytime you wake him up, he can tell you everything, where Shippers Council started and where they are today, which is a great stride on his behalf.
Chief Agu thanked everyone and urged staff to continue working diligently to elevate the council.
The indicators people are giving me is that I ran the race, and I ran the race very, very well. I'm equally encouraging all of you. You understand? If you have not started planning how to run your own race, start now. This is the right time, especially for those people that are just coming in. This is the time for you to plan how to run your own race.
In a move to support grassroots communities, the Nigerian Shippers Council has donated medical equipment and palliative items worth millions of naira as corporate social responsibility to the MDG's Oloti Lagba Primary Health Center in Iragbiji, Osun State. The donation includes pediatric hospital beds, solar panels, a generator, and other essential items. Over 300 residents also received food relief. The Executive Secretary of the NSG, represented by the Director of Special Duties, Mr. Mustafa Zubairu, said the initiative is aimed at improving healthcare services.
It is a policy that we intervene in some areas So we identify areas that are very critical, that are very important. So we identify Irabeji Health Center as one of the areas that requires intervention in the provision of some of these materials. And that was why motivated us to actually bring this CSR to this community.
The community leaders, including the Aragbiji of Iragbiji, His Royal Majesty Oba Abdurrashid Ayotunde Olabomi Odudun IV, commended the gesture as timely and impactful.
The executive secretary is somebody that loves us so much, that is ready to support anything that is good that we are doing.
It's time to check our complaints register for the week. We have a total of 6 complaints. While one of these complaints has been resolved, 5 are ongoing investigations. The types of complaints include unwarranted withholding of container deposit, unauthorized charges, fraudulent concealment in consignments, double payments of shipping charges, and stolen sensor. We urge stakeholders in maritime sector to visit our website at www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng to get better insight into what we do and lodge any complaints they might have. Now, let's talk about the international maritime sector. The European Commission has imposed countervailing duties on battery electric vehicles, BEVs, imported from China for 5 years. The decision follows an investigation into unfair subsidies benefiting Chinese manufacturers, which threaten EU producers. Duties range from 7.8% for Tesla to 35.3% for non-cooperating companies. The EU and China are working on WTO-compliant solutions, while the surge in Chinese BEV exports to Europe continues, with a 61% year-on-year increase in September. The move aims to protect the EU's electric vehicle markets from unfair competition. Singapore's Competition and Consumer Commission, CCCS, has approved Hanwha's Group $450 million acquisition of Dynamac Engineering Services. Hanwha Group, which already holds a 25.4% stake, will gain full control through a cash acquisition. The deal is expected to close by the end of 2024. The CCCS concluded that the transaction will not harm competition in Singapore's market. Dynamac specializes in offshore engineering with shipyards in Singapore and partnerships in China, Malaysia, and the Philippines. And that's it on Tidbits for this week. See you again next week.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
And that's where we wrap up this edition of The Shipper, your trusted source for insights into Nigeria's maritime and trade sector. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at NG Shippers for updates and insights. Until next time, my name is Abike Idowu. Stay safe and keep shipping forward.